Hey guys, this is Alan, and disclaimer, I do not have the OnePlus 9 Pro. But I think I'll get a chance to use one at the Reliance Digital Store, of course. And trust me, even if I don't have the phone in my hands, I will try to give you the best and all the information about the HASSELBLAD camera which they are including with the device, and I'll tell you all about the OnePlus 9 Pro camera. So speaking of that, for the last month OnePlus has been teasing and giving some of the rumors about the HASSELBLAD camera, and now few hours ago after the launch we know what the HASSELBLAD is actually about and what OnePlus is trying to do with the collaboration with the HASSELBLAD. And for that, I think I should tell you something about the HASSELBLAD. I think many of you haven't even heard of HASSELBLAD until OnePlus said that they're including it in their phone. HASSELBLAD is one of the world's most renowned brand, and it is used by the professionals because of the reason that it is able to capture a very high quality images, and it is actually a high-end, expensive and totally overkill camera. Some of the greatest iconic images in the history were taken by this HASSELBLAD camera, like that iconic photo which was taken in the moon by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were taken by two specially built HASSELBLAD camera which was actually been at space, since HASSELBLAD has been very famous. So that was all about the HASSELBLAD, a small briefing about the HASSELBLAD. Now let's talk about what is the role of HASSELBLAD in the OnePlus mobile camera. So the camera hardware of the OnePlus 9 Pro has a 50 megapixel ultra-wide sensor and a 48 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel 3.3x telephoto lens, a flash, a microphone, a laser, and oh yes, a 2 megapixel monochrome camera if you really care. So let's talk about the first camera, that is the 50 megapixel ultra-wide camera, which they talked on the stage more than the softwares, more than the hardware, and more than other specs. They talked about this camera, this particular camera. So the OnePlus ultra-wide sensor can shoot very stunning looking beautiful images. As you could see here, these all images were posted by the CEO of the company in Twitter for giving a sample image of what the camera is actually capable of. But according to me, it's not the quality of the images which makes this ultra-wide camera more successful. It's actually and it's something else. So first of all, do you remember those weird curvy line distortions when we use an ultra-wide camera? Yes, they always used to have there because lens distortion, because it's actually so wide, so it creates a fisheye effect. So because of those distortions, many of the users don't actually have like an interest in using an ultra-wide camera. So guess what? I think it's the best thing which OnePlus has done this year on the camera subject, that they have removed that curvy weird distortions. Yes, that's true. They have included some kind of like weird lens between them, some kind of curvy glass between the other lenses, and they have actually managed to remove those curvy distortions. So now it is so much more versatile to capture an image through the ultra-wide cameras. And another reason which I think people do not use an ultra-wide camera is that the quality of the images. Yes, the ultra-wide cameras always used to be less megapixel and less quality than the main camera. So obviously people were trying to shoot images using the main camera. Even if they wanted to move is further steps back and capture a wide image, they will do that because the wide angle camera doesn't have that much quality. Therefore, the OnePlus has included a 50 megapixel sensor which is actually 3 times bigger than the iPhone 12, and that itself is a very good reason that people are going to use the wide angle camera more often than the main camera. So moving on to the next camera, next is a 48 megapixel sensor. It's a main camera, and there is nothing much to say about the main camera. It's the same, there's no new features or anything, and even in this launch itself nobody actually spoke a lot about the 48 megapixel main camera. So therefore I would not like to go in depth into this camera, but something which is worth mentioning is that the ultra-wide camera and the main sensor has got something from HASSELBLAD. Yes, this is where HASSELBLAD comes into play. So we all know that HASSELBLAD is actually a very powerful camera and could capture a lot of colors. So here's where HASSELBLAD comes to play in the OnePlus cameras. So OnePlus is using HASSELBLAD's technology, HASSELBLAD's learning and their algorithm to capture more accurate colors than before. So both of these sensors, the ultra-wide camera and the main sensor, has the tech from the HASSELBLAD, and it is actually used by the HASSELBLAD ambassadors who has taken these OnePlus phones around the world to photograph and test them out. So that's all it about the 48 megapixel camera. So moving on, if we talk about the 3.3x zoom telephoto lens on the camera module of the new OnePlus 9 Pro, but according to me, I think that it is one of the worst camera among these three cameras, because it is only 8 megapixel and it won't even come near the quality of the main camera and the ultra wide camera. So the people who take a lot of zoomed in photos will be very disappointed by this camera. So now, speaking about the video quality which you could capture, the OnePlus 9 Pro is the world's first phone which would capture 4K at 120 fps, which is actually very impressive, and it could also record 8K at 30 fps. It could also shoot 1080p at 30, 60 and 120 fps. So that's all about the three cameras which are included with the all new OnePlus 9 Pro. So now let's talk about the practical real world stuff. So OnePlus generally takes great photos as per the samples tweeted by the CEO of the company OnePlus, and also by some of the well-known tech creators in YouTube who were actually lucky to test the devices with their hands personally. But when we compare the statements by the tech creators and the OnePlus, we actually get a clear picture of what's happening. So as per OnePlus, the OnePlus 9 Pro's camera is the best ever camera they have ever created, with its all quality and 50 megapixels wide camera with lens distortions. But actually the HASSELBLAD plays a very little role in the camera department. It's only about more accurate natural colors, the orange shutter button and the shutter sound. That's it. That's all about the HASSELBLAD is. But the best part is, we could cross our fingers because OnePlus has partnered with HASSELBLAD for the next 3 years. And that's all for watching the video. Thank you so much for watching, and wait, don't leave the video yet. Even though I have 173 subscribers, I make amazing videos just like this one. And help me out by liking and commenting, because you know it will trigger the YouTube algorithm and something will happen and we will promote to more and more people. Just do it, okay?